Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
So we have this trend where we put a listing in the MLS, and even if hasn't had any showings, we get a bunch of offers.
Right.
So we got the question asked today by a client: if it falls out, is a house more likely to fall out of escrow if they didn't see it? Meaning they get the accepted offer and then they come look at the house during the home inspection, which is for usually the first time they see it, and then they change their mind. So let's start with anecdotal information. Juana, you've sold 2,000 houses. How many of them would you say were bought sight unseen? As a percentage, maybe?
I don't know how many were bought sight unseen, but what I do know is that over the last couple of years with COVID, a ton of people have bought homes sight unseen. Whether they bought them sight unseen because they were moving across the country, or they bought them sight unseen because the sellers weren't willing to show homes because of COVID. Whatever the reason, virtual tours, pictures online, all of this have gone a long way to help buyers discern which home is right for them. And most of the time, the transactions close. And when they don't, it is seldom because the house did not meet the expectations of the buyer, and more that something else had something to do with it, whether it was financing or inspections or something else.
Okay. So we're in a hot market right now.
Yes.
And what do you think about buyers that are either being told by their agent or are just telling their agent, hey, we don't have time to go see this thing. We have to just get the offer in, get under contract, and then we can deal with seeing it, because I don't want to wait like 2 or 3 days to schedule an appointment, have them get a really good offer, cash offer, and then just say, no, we're going to take this offer.
Right. So I think that's happening a lot. Buyers are making offers sight unseen. I think where the fallout happens is in maybe the buyer's willingness or ability to go through with the purchase during that negotiation time, because they're putting offers in on multiple homes. So when they're putting offers in on multiple homes, then as the offers maybe get rejected or countered or what have you, that's where things kind of shake out more. I don't think that buyers are walking away primarily when they've had an accepted offer and they see the home for the first time. I think they're walking away during the negotiation process, maybe because they have not necessarily had a sufficient attachment to the home, maybe the way they would if they walked through it. But again, with being able to see these homes online and see them repeatedly online, because let's face it, when you go to see homes, maybe you'll see 10, 12, 15 homes in a day. Your head is spinning. You can't even remember which home was which, and then you're expected to make an offer. While if you're purchasing or at least making an offer on a home online, you're able to keep revisiting those images over and over again and really crystallize that this is the right home for you.
What about the fact that, like, for example, Las Vegas is, the sort of prototypical market with tract homes. Mm-hmm. So if you went and saw a home built by a builder that's 2,400 square feet, mm-hmm. it's 4 bedrooms, and it's a certain floor plan, and they build them all over town, the exact same one. Do you, and it's like 3 years old, mm-hmm. right? Do you really, you can pretty much, looking at if you've been in it, mm-hmm. you could say it's the same house, it's more of a commodity now. It's not really, it's homogeneous.
Yes. Yeah, look, in Las Vegas, we have cookie cutter homes, as we like to call them, right? These homes are identical. The builder, like Todd said, is building multiple communities throughout the valley, the exact same floor plan, the exact same materials and everything throughout the valley. So if you saw a home in one neighborhood and there might be the same floor plan, the same exact builder, maybe 5 miles away or maybe 15 miles away, you don't necessarily need to go see that one too. The pictures in the MLS or wherever you're looking at them online are probably sufficient to give you an idea that yes, this is the same home and this is a reasonable condition of the property. I understand that you haven't been in it and maybe you haven't smelt it, but look, it's the same home, and once the current occupants are out, it will be your home and you'll be able to do as you wish with it and maybe paint that pink bedroom a different color, but it's still the same bones, the same home.
We had a listing one time in the neighborhood talking about homogeneous and being the same. the builder built this same home all over the place, but the one house that we listed and sold for like $875, it was in Seven Hills, which is a really nice area. It's actually got a lot of stuff around it, and it was a beautiful neighborhood. You know, it's kind of hilly and everything. That same house, and then somebody else bought a house, the exact same, like literally the exact same floor plan. I walked in, I went, it's the same, exact same house, but it was about $250,000 less because it was in the northwest, out in an area where it's literally surrounded by open land. It was flat, and it's really far from any services. You had to probably go 3 or 4 miles to get to anything, whereas Seven Hills sort of has a bunch of stuff around there.
Right.
And it's more built out, and you know what you're going to get. Like, and if you're out in an area where you're surrounded by desert, then you don't know what they're going to build there. It could be they could put a trailer park out there, and not the trailer park's bad, but that it doesn't conform with the area, it hurts values.
Right. So, as Todd said, location matters, right? Location. I have a client, and he purchased a home in North Las Vegas, the same builder, the same exact floor plan, across the valley in Silverado Ranch, built the same exact floor plan at the same time, and the difference in price, brand new construction, in the north, it was $100,000 less than it was in Silverado Ranch, which is completely the opposite end of town. So location matters when it comes to the price of real estate, because people value certain things, certain access, certain amenities, and most of it, honestly, is perception. It's not necessarily anything truly tangible. Most of it is just perception.
Yeah. And the specific example you're talking about, the one in North Las Vegas was like high threes, right?
Right. So they were both multi-gen homes. They were the same exact floor plan. They were both single stories, and they were both being built simultaneously. And like I said, the one in North Las Vegas was $100,000 less than the one in Silverado Ranch. Same exact home, same exact time frame, everything's the same, just the location was different.
So basically it was like 25% more, cost 20% more.
Yeah.
Do you think the rent would have been 25% more?
Maybe the rent would have been 25% more, but 25% more rent does not equate to $100,000 worth of mortgage.
Right, especially when you're putting down a percentage and then and paying for a mortgage. Okay, so we're still talking about the buying sight unseen. Okay, let's talk about the funds, because we just had one of the big ones buy one of our listings.
Right.
They just cash.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they don't care. There's some asset manager probably in New York City who's just, looking out his window at the Hudson River going, oh, hey, I wonder what we should get for lunch today. Oh, we got to buy 30 houses. Got to go buy 30 houses in the next 2 days. And we were to buy them in Phoenix and Vegas. So they make a phone call and go, hey, go get us a bunch of houses, right? Because we just got some more money. So they don't really care. Like, honestly, the agent doesn't care, because the agent wasn't want to go to the house. And they may not even tell the hedge fund they didn't see it. They're just like, we'll just make the offers, and then whatever we get accepted, I'll take a look at it then, right? Well,
look, so what you have to understand is whether the agent has seen it or not is not particularly relevant, because the agent will be providing the same pictures that he's seeing on the MLS to his client, like to your point in New York City or wherever the hedge fund manager happens to be located. So they're all looking at the same pictures. It doesn't really matter. So yes, it is the same thing where they are buying the house sight unseen, because that hedge fund manager will never walk this house. Yeah, no, and they don't care, because like I said, they're managing so many assets. This is almost, it's part of a portfolio, and they're just going to rent it anyway. And if it pencils, they don't care. And this is sort of the difference. And this is why we're seeing more of this for a couple reasons. I think people are getting less price sensitive or whatever, because so buying a home for a buyer when you're going to live in it is mostly an emotional decision. It's like, it's this much financial, but it's this much emotional. And it's the opposite for a seller. Most sellers, they live in that house for whatever long, but the second they decide to sell it, they're like, I'm done with the house. Like, just sell it. Give me. That's like literally everyone tells us, hey, it was a great house, but I want the money. Like, give me the money, right? Right. So what's happened is we've transitioned to this thing where
people are less emotional about the house, which is why they're just like pushing up the price. They just need to get something. And there's FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes.
That if I don't get the house now, I won't be able to afford it. We saw this in 2004 when out of the blue people would call and say, I just heard that prices are expected to go up 50% this year, and I was planning on saving like 50 grand before I bought a house. I want to buy right now. Like I need to go out and buy right now. And there were a ton of people flooding the market. So do you think that these external things have, like for short term, have changed the paradigm where all of a sudden people want to they just need to make this happen, and seeing it is like not, it's counterintuitive. Like they don't need to see it.
Right. So what's happening is they simply can't see a house fast enough to be able to make an offer.
Right.
So when other buyers are making offers on homes sight unseen and they want to wait to see the house, guess what? You will never have the opportunity to see the house because it already has an accepted offer, an offer from a buyer who did not see the house in person. They did see the pictures online. The pictures online were sufficient to convince them that this is the right home for them. They made the offer, it got accepted, and now they're going to go and have their home inspection, see it for the first time, and maybe only time, unless you count the walkthrough, the morning before it closes.
Okay, what about this? There are some, for sure, there are rental agents like that are managing a rental that say, we're not doing it until you've been in the house. Like you have to see the house before I'm going to send you a lease, and right? Are there any sellers that you've heard of or aware of that will say, I'm not accepting an offer in anyone unless they came in the house because I'm afraid, they'll just back out or whatever because they haven't really seen it. So they're more likely they can see what the other person's doing, just try to get accepted and then go over and look at it.
Right. So I would be a little fearful of that, to be honest, because that means that seller knows that there's something undesirable about that house. And his experience has been that the pictures look great, but when people walk in the house, they don't like it anymore. So that would make me uncomfortable because I would think that there's something wrong with the house.
And it's usually, and a lot of times it's not the house, it's what's right around the house. Like you may be very close to a major road and you don't realize it. You look like you're far enough away from the road, but maybe it's just a loud road or the design of the area and all the sound is focused there. So you walk in the backyard and you hear traffic.
Right.
Or every 5 seconds an airplane flies overhead. You realize you're directly under some departure corridor at the airport.
So what used to be a big thing was we used to have a pig farm in North Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yes, I said that correctly, a pig farm. So there was a certain...
It was there forever.
So there was a certain aroma in the air, so to speak.
It reeked.
So, yes, it did. It was definitely pungent.
And you would smell it. We would go to brand new homes and it'd be like, why does it smell so bad? And we're like a mile from the pig farm.
Yes.
And you could smell it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even more than a mile from the pig farm, you could smell it.
People would put in the MLS the distance to the pig farm.
Yes.
Yeah,
so that makes the point that, again, that seller knows that the house, that you can smell the pig farm from the house. So maybe that's why he wants you to come out to the house and make sure that either your sense of smell isn't that great or that this is not an odor that offends you. So that there's something going on there that the seller knows that you have to come out and make sure that this will work for you. It's that the pictures are insufficient to convey the property that you are getting.
Okay. So do you think that, if we took 100 houses, sold them with people walking in, and we took 100 houses and sold them sight unseen, there would be a noticeable difference in the number that closed with that first buyer?
No, I don't think there would be.
Okay.
I think it would be negligible. And I actually think that the homes that sold sight unseen would probably sell for more money. And this sounds really crazy, but I think the reason that they would sell for more money is because the homes that were purchased sight unseen were purchased by buyers who had gotten hurt as far as being not being fast enough to make an offer or not making an offer that was good enough. And so they're going to be getting more aggressive with their offers as far as their timelines, as far as their pricing, as far as requesting repairs and all of this. I think that these buyers are more likely to close because like I said, they've gotten hurt and they're happy that they got a house and this house will work. Everything else that they can deal with after closing, as opposed to buyers who walked through 1,300 homes and then picked one, and then now they're hemming and hawing, and it's like, well, if this one doesn't work out, there's another one down the road, and that sort of thing. Those are buyers that are more likely to have buyer's remorse, and because there are more choices for them. I think the buyers who are purchasing homes sight unseen realize that they really don't have that many choices, and that this home will do just fine.
Okay. Well, you heard it. She's the expert. She sold the most houses. I would say who is it left in town that sold more houses than you? Maybe 2 or 3 people, because most of them left. Like, a lot of them retired.
Yes, they did.
The super agents that have sold thousands.
Yes, they did.
Like, there's a lot of agents who are like, oh, I sold 50 houses this year, and that's great, but they're still at like 500 total.
Right. So I think that most of the agents left in town that have sold more homes than me have sold more institutional homes than me.
Bank-owned?
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to me, and I've done both. I've done actually a substantial amount of traditional sellers, not just bank-owned homes. I mean, I've done a ton of bank-owned homes, but I've done a lot of traditional sellers too.
Okay. If you are thinking of selling your home, then give us a call.
Absolutely.
I'll put our phone number right up here on the screen, and I'll also put our contact information in the description of the video. You can go look at it there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us your comments.
Yeah, please let us know your experience, both ways, both with buyers that have been through your house and buyers that maybe bought your house sight unseen. It'd be interesting to see what your stories are. We love reading your stories. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.